You know, I never thought I'd be sitting here, staring out at my little backyard in Willow Creek, Tennessee, telling this story like it's some kind of movie script that played out in my own life, but here we are, folks. It all started a couple years back when I moved into this quiet suburb, thinking it'd be the perfect spot to settle down after my divorce, raise my dog Buddy, and just live simple, you know? But right from the jump, this neighborhood's HOA Homeowners Association, those folks who act like they're the kings of curb appeal had it out for me. And let me tell you, it hit hard, like a punch to the gut that knocks the wind right out of you. See, the conflict kicked off almost immediately after I bought the place. My property had this old oak tree right on the edge, shading half the street, and apparently, that tree was a thorn in the side of the HOA president, this guy named Harlan Big Shot real estate developer type, always strutting around in his polo shirts, flashing that fake smile like he's your best buddy until he's not. Harlan had been eyeing my lot for years, wanted to expand his own backyard into some fancy patio setup, but the tree was in the way, and more than that, he hated how I didn't play by his rules. I kept my lawn a bit wild, grew some veggies out back, nothing crazy, but it wasn't the cookie-cutter perfection he enforced on everyone else. It wasn't just about the tree, though. Deep down, it was personnel lost a deal once because my late grandpa, who owned the house before me, refused to sell him a strip of land, and Harlan held grudges like they were gold. So he starts nitpicking everything. Fines for unsightly foliage, complaints about Buddy barking too loud, even accusing me of violating some obscure bylaw about fence heights. I'd get these letters in the mail, all official-looking, threatening liens on my house if I didn't comply, and I'd lie awake at night, heart pounding, wondering if I'd lose everything I'd scraped together just because this bully in a button-up decided I didn't fit his vision of the neighborhood. The tension built up slow at first, like a storm gathering on the horizon. You feel it in the air, but you hope it passes. Harlan would corner me at community meetings, that smug grin plastered on, saying things like, "John, buddy, you know we're all in this together, why make it hard on yourself? Trim that tree, pay the fines, and we'll forget the whole thing." But his eyes said different. They were cold, calculating, like he was already picturing my land as his. I'd mumble something polite. "Sure, Harlan, I'll look into it." But inside, I was boiling. How dare this guy manipulate the rules to push me out? The HOA board was in his pocket, too. His wife was the secretary, and a couple neighbors who'd gotten favors from him backed every move. One night, after another fine hit my mailbox, this one for $500 over excessive garden clutter, I snapped, stormed over to his place, pounded on the door. He opens it, cocktail in hand, and sneers. "What now, John? Come to beg for mercy." I fired back. "This is harassment, Harlanury, twisting the rules because you want my land. Admit it." He laughs, that low, mocking chuckle. "Prove it, pal. The board's on my side, and good luck fighting City Hallier in this case, me." Door slams in my face, and I walk away fuming, feeling small, powerless, like the whole world was rigged against guys like me who just wanted to live in peace. But here's where things started shifting. You know, that middle part where the underdog finds his footing. And for me, it wasn't some big heroic moment at first. It was quieter, more internal, like a whisper in the chaos that grew into a roar. I'd always been a man of faith, nothing flashy, just the kind my grandma taught mepre in the quiet times, trust when it's dark, that sort of thing. After that confrontation, I hit my knees in the living room, tears streaming, begging God to show me a way through, because I felt so unseen, so beat down by this system Harlan had built around himself. And wouldn't you know it, the next morning, as I'm sipping coffee, staring at that old oak, I remember something my grandpa used to say. "John boy, faithfulness ain't about the big shows. It's the small stands that move mountains." It clicked. Maybe I didn't have to fight fire with fire. Maybe I could outsmart him by being faithful to the truth, digging deeper into the rules he loved so much. So I started researching, late nights poring over HOA docs, county records, even hit up the local library for old plats. Turns out, my property line wasn't just arbitrary. That oak was on a historic easement from way back, protected under some forgotten town ordinance about preserving green spaces in Willow Creek. Harlan had buried that detail, probably hoping no one would notice, but I did, and it lit a fire in me. The counterattack came unexpected. even to me like one of those plot twists in a thriller where the hero flips the script. I didn't go yelling. Instead, I played it cool, gathered evidence quietly, snapped photos of the tree, pulled public records showing how Harlan had manipulated similar situations before. Turns out, he'd strong-armed two other neighbors into selling cheap, using the same fine tactics, all because he was expanding his influence, turning the neighborhood into his personal fiefdom. Get ran deep. One of those ex-neighbors, a sweet old lady named Martha, who'd moved away, reached out after I posted anonymously on a local forum about HOA woes. She spilled everything. How Harlan spread rumors about her to force her out, all over a petty dispute about her flower beds encroaching on common area. Armed with that, I rallied a few quiet allies, my next-door guy, Tom, who'd been fined for his kids' bikes, and a young couple down the street tired of the constant surveillance. We met in my garage, whispering like conspirators. "John, you sure about this? Harlan's got connections." I'd nod, feeling that inner strength build. "Yeah, but we've got truth and maybe a little divine timing." The plan? File a formal challenge at the next HOA meeting, but with a twist. I'd invoke the easement publicly, expose his pattern, and demand an audit of the board's finances, hinting at embezzlement from those fines that never seemed to fund anything but Harlan's parties. When the meeting rolled around, oh man, it was electric, like a courtroom showdown in one of those old westerns, tension thick enough to cut with a knife. Harlan's presiding, all confident, banging the gavel. Next item, fines enforcement. I stand up, papers in hand, voice steady but with that edge of someone who's had enough. "Hold on, Harlan, before we get to that, let's talk about this easement on my property. The oak stays, per town law, and while we're at it, how about we audit where all these fines are going? I've got records showing you've pulled this on others." Martha Jenkins ring a bell. His face goes red, then pale. He stammers, "This is out of order. Sit down, John, or I'll have you removed." But Tom jumps in. "No, let's hear him out. I got fines too, and I'm tired of it." The room erupts, murmurs turning to shouts, Harlan banging that gavel like a madman. "Order. This is my meeting." I fire back, calm but cutting. "Your meeting? Last I checked, it's ours and your little kingdom's crumbling, buddy." He lunges forward, face twisted in rage. "You little nobody, you think you can take me down? I've built this place." But the crowd's turning, phones out, recording, and suddenly, he's the one looking small. By the end, the board votes to suspend fines pending review, and Harlan storms out, muttering threats, but we all knew it was over for him. In the aftermath, it felt like sweet victory, cinematic as hell. Me standing under that oak the next day, Buddy at my feet, watching as auditors show up at Harlan's door, his empire unraveling thread by thread. Turns out, those fines had padded his pockets. Embezzlement charges followed, and he ended up selling off chunks of his own land to pay legal fees, slinking away to some condo downtown. The neighborhood breathed easier. Tom and I shared a beer on my porch, laughing about how it all flipped. "John, you were like David with that slingshot. Harlan never saw it coming." And deep down, I knew it wasn't just smarts. It was that faithfulness, those quiet prayers in the dark that God had seen, turning my small stand into something bigger. But here's the thing that still nags at me, leaves it open-ended, you know? Was I right to drag it all out publicly, exposing his family to the fallout his wife left him? Kids distanced, or should I have settled quieter, forgiven like my faith teaches? Public justice felt good, but maybe it crossed into vengeance. What do you think? Was it fair play, or did I go too far in the name of righting wrongs? Drop your thoughts in the comments. Share if you've dealt with HOA tyrants or community bullies, and let's chat about where that line is between standing up and striking back. Hit like if this hit home, subscribe for more real-life tales, and hey, your story might be next. Who knows what faithfulness can flip?